Hi there, everybody. Cesara here. What is happening in the United States now was planned by the sitting president in 2016. When he realized his chosen candidate for the next term of office as president of the United States of America, Hillary Clinton, was possibly not going to win the election, he put together teams of people, hand-picked teams, and he sent them out for a practice run in another country. I personally watched as people I know were attacked by outrage mobs on Twitter and all these various social media channels. I watched as they could say the most outrageous things, but if you reported them, nothing happened to them. I watched people being absolutely destroyed by swarms of the most obscene and disgusting content posted on their social media pages. So I am actually going to go into all of the detail, but I need to get you to understand how personal this is and where this is coming from. So yes, people are sheeple, and a lot of people are just on the ride because they've been indoctrinated into grievance culture. But everybody else who is doing the real hard-hitting work, this is a coup. This is attempted regime change. This has been rehearsed before in other countries, and in order to fight it, you must be able to identify it. So I want you to take a look at this man. This is Sergey Brin, founder of Google, one of the founders of Google, in 2016. I want you to watch what he is saying, but don't just watch. Look at him carefully. Pretend you are a forensic profiler. So look at him and start thinking demeanor, posture, tone of voice. Does he look together or does he look disheveled? This is all very important, as we shall see. So let us take a look at what Sergey Brin had to say when he realized that Hillary Clinton had had lost the election.
Pretty upset and pretty sad because of the election.
Pretty upset and pretty sad because of the election. This is the founder of Google, one of the most powerful men in the world. He can deplatform you so that you are never found again. Is sad and upset.
As an immigrant and a refugee, I certainly find this election deeply offensive.
As an immigrant and a refugee, I find this election deeply offensive. Let me understand this. You are a refugee to a country where democracy exists, and you are offended by democracy. I see. Let us continue and see what the rest of his team thinks.
Is there anything positive you see from this election result?
Boy, that's a really tough one right now.
Okay, let's just go back. Worth watching that Tucker Carlson. He makes excellent points. So I think that's Larry Page. This is Sergey Brin, and here's the rest of them. And when somebody asks, is there anything positive from this election? They laugh, and he just... So this is somebody who fully expected to win and who looks defeated and is defeated. Why did he expect to win? Because they know that human beings will go into the right pen if you give them enough stimuli. So Google employs a vast swaths of neuroscientists and neurohackers who are constantly moderating human behavior, who are giving you cues, who are pushing you to vote in a certain way, to buy certain products, to do certain things. Google and the DNC, as we can see from this clip, with the founders sitting over there looking absolutely heartbroken, are in fact functioning as one entity. The DNC is rotten to the core. There is nothing you can do with it. So you have to understand that, and if you are a Democrat, you just have to face up to reality. I'm not saying politics isn't a rigged game, but the DNC is insider corrupt. Big tech is a part of this, and we're going to go into it. Just one more mention. I'm upset. Is there anything positive to say about this election? Well, the answer should be yes, there is something positive to say about this election. Democracy works. I'm in a country where, even though I didn't get my own way, I'm very happy to see that, both sides are represented. That's not what he says. He is absolutely furious. Okay, so let me draw your attention to something Dwight Eisenhower said in 1961 in his farewell address. And I know you all know about the military-industrial complex warning in this speech, but that's not all he said. Progress toward these noble goals is persistently threatened by the conflict now engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention, absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. He said something else. He gave a warning about the technological elite. A specific warning as severe as the warning he gave about the military-industrial complex. Now, a president does not give a farewell address and say things like this without them being very loaded. So let us just take this apart for a moment. We face a hostile ideology. What does he mean by that? An ideology that is antithetical to American values of liberty and freedom of speech. Global in scope. I'm about to show you something absolutely terrifying, because everything that is happening is part of a world domination attempt. It is not happening in isolation. What is happening in your country is happening in my disaster of a country. Yes, conflict engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention. Well, when you push things like race and intersectional politics into people's faces, then every waking moment is spent where you have companies dodging around and navigating how to appease this insane ideology. And of course, it can never be appeased, because this ideology is really based on Trotsky's perpetual revolution model. And very few people will know that I warned people back in, this is in 2019, but I was certainly warning before that, that you should not be looking at this map. And I go into the destruction of different countries in Southern Africa, not South Africa, different countries, how they went from going up into absolute starvation thanks to this lunatic ideology, which simply doesn't work. But never mind that. Let's get back and see what else he says. Atheistic in character. What does this really mean? It means they think they can remake the world in their own image. That is utopianism. The road to utopia is paved with blood, sweat, tears, and bodies. Utopianism is authoritarianism of the highest degree. It is terrifying. Ruthless in purpose, absolutely. They don't care about you. They don't care about your businesses. They don't care what you build up. And insidious in method. Yeah, it started out with, let's be politically correct. Let's do the right thing. And where has it ended up? Now, you may not be aware of this, but all of your countries are subscribed to a model and to the ideals of this World Economic Forum right here. And if you think you are not, take your city name, add in the search term sustainable development, and go and have a look at the plans they have for your future. And they are already implementing these plans. In places like Ireland and the UK, they are making pavements bigger to cope with social distancing, to make things nicer. No, not really, because there's an entire architecture that is drawn up for a whole new world order that doesn't even look like the world you are living in and probably doesn't have place for you. So let us have a look at what the World Economic Forum is up to. Pollution costs lives and is bad for business. When they say pollution, what they mean is your carbon footprint. Your carbon footprint is the fact that you are alive. They resent your being and your existence. I'm not saying you shouldn't clean up unnecessary pollution and smoke. I am saying that this is part of a broader agenda that will absolutely should send ice through your veins. Yes, storytellers can save the planet. Yes, they can. Liars can most certainly save the planet. Millions of jobs could be created in Latin and the Caribbean if the region switches to a plant-based diet. If you don't know, Bill Gates actually said in an interview that while he doesn't anticipate making much money from his vaccine business because he is so philanthropic, he expects to make a lot of money from his meat substitute country. So is there any possible reason why meat storage and packaging facilities were closed worldwide, leading to a glut of animals that farmers could not afford to feed, which were then put down, and that meat was not distributed to the poor and the needy and to anyone else. It was disposed of. These people are absolute psychopaths. It's time to change the way we think about the value of the media. You bet it is. They want to eliminate it. A free media is anathema to somebody like this who believed, because these people really do have a God delusion, he actually believed, he and his ilk, believed that they could manipulate elections as they have done in other countries. For whatever reason, that fire of desiring a liberty and freedom won out over the programming. This is no small matter. It is absolutely extraordinary. And aside from cheating and manipulating and rigging the votes, which I'm going to show you in a moment, they actually, the 2016 election was rigged. Clinton got a lot more votes than she should have. They also have an obsession. If you've looked at Elon Musk, and now I know some people like Elon Musk and think he's different from the rest. Neuralink, that satellite, the name eludes me for the moment, is set up in the sky. You're being told this is for your benefit. I'm telling you that these people are complete psychopaths who wish to live forever. And that is why somebody like Elon Musk is weirdly creating chips, interfaces to the human brain. What else? an entire network, because the idea is, we can download our memories into this chip in case something happens to our body, and we can then reanimate and restore our memories. They obviously haven't had very many bad memories, because if they had, they wouldn't want that type of thing sitting in their brains. But not only that, it is the sign of a spectacularly undeveloped, unwise. There's a lack of wisdom in what we are seeing. Death exists because that is the only way you get new life. So if death didn't exist, we would be a single-celled planet. There has to be a finite amount of life. What these people are seeking to do is remake the world in their image. This is really a God delusion from big tech and other assorted, what do you call them, despicables. And in doing all of this, in remaking everything, their plan is that they are going to live forever and ever and ever in this basic paradise earth, to quote the Jehovah's Witnesses, that they are going to run, and nothing is ever going to happen to them. And if something does happen to their body, no problem, because they have Neuralink, they have chips that can restore their memories, not only to them, but they're actually experimenting with things like taking the head off of a monkey and putting it on another monkey and hooking everything up. And astonishingly, that monkey actually lived for a few days. Why anybody is doing this? Yes, it started off for, we really, really care about people with spinal injuries. And that's all very good and noble. But then it started to go to their heads. So we are dealing with people who have a maturity level of about 2 or 3. Why do I say that? When you look at what is happening over here, he's very disappointed that he lost. They lost. They are not the DNC. Google is a platform which is so big that they should be impartial, and they are not. So these are not bystanders. These are active participants in the DNC. Do you follow what I'm saying over here? So he was upset about it. He was upset that his tech, which is designed to manipulate people, did not work, which is why you are seeing this unbelievable amount of propaganda here. Why do I say 2 or 3? Let's get back to that. Because at 2 or 3 developmentally is when a child finds out it is not God. So when a baby is born, heaven forfend it should be in another type of home, but in a normal, good home, that baby feels like it is center of the world. And it is only when it gets to 2, 3, and it starts moving around and walking and touching things that it finds out, wait, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm offended. I'm outraged. I am going to scream and I am going to throw a tantrum. And so that is what they have done. They are throwing a tantrum. And that tantrum is designed to manipulate, because they do not have the numbers. They do not have the numbers to stage this revolution. So they need to manipulate people into believing that this is a legitimate grassroots revolution, which isn't working. Biden and Kamala Harris are on a sinking ship, and we can see that. And so the reason that they put all of this in motion was literally, if the worst comes to the worst, we will wrestle the country back from the Republicans. We will take it back. That is why they've got their appointees in every Supreme Court, they're all over Congress, they're all over various states, they're in key positions everywhere, and giving people a complete free pass while horribly attacking Republicans. It is very important that you understand how all of this works. I am in South Africa, and I have been without power pretty much 4 days out of the last 7. So my upload schedule is a little bit give and take. Bear with me. This is important information. If you are interested, please subscribe, like, share, because I don't think I'm going to be around for very long. And yeah, if you'd like to support my channel, there is a link below. Very much appreciated. Things are tough over here. And that's it for now. Cesara signing out.